A little bit on the brighter side of things during the week. We had an unusual opportunity to meet up with a Japanese film crew straight from Japan, and they were having great difficulty dealing with the conditions here, and they were all completely covered from head to toe with for their skin and that type of thing, but yet wanting to be involved and putting things down and videoing everything. And we did have a little experience with that, and at the very last minute we were asked if one of the film crew could not ride along with us for the start of our vehicle, and watching it disappear over the curvature of the earth is exactly what it did, because that was on our first day on the salt, and we fired the engine up, and they were all in the truck, and we got Ben started, and of course with the setup that we have in our car, the car has to be pushed, and then when Ben feels he's up to proper speed, then he pulls it into gear and accelerates, and this is what he did. In fact, we were probably running at that point about 55 to 60 miles an hour, and then the race car pushed away and disappeared and accelerated so fast it left us so far behind. The poor guy holding the camera, he didn't know where to hang on or shoot the picture that he was supposed to shoot or whatever, but I'm sure he had quite an experience for him, I will say that. But it was some good video. We're going to try and hook up with them to get some of that information, and maybe if we're fortunate enough, find out if we can, if they can put it on YouTube or something like that. But some good shots were taken, some video was taken, and hopefully that we can get on either on Facebook or YouTube, whichever. And we do have Fred Blanchard, Adrenaline Motorsports on YouTube, that if you want to see some of the shots that have been taken by my daughters with their video cameras and still shots as well, you can hook up to that, and you're able to see some of the things that will be going on. Probably we'll probably have that on in several weeks from now, but it'll be available for viewing. And Ben, thank you very much for everything that you've shared with Bruno here. The French Connection, which is the program. It's at 1680 AM on your internet dial, by the way, folks. If you want to view a podcast of previous programs of the French Connection and also Adrenaline Motorsports, we do have podcasts. They do hang on to them, and but it's 1680 AM on your internet dial. And I know that I found that some of the members of the BNI and SETA enjoy the videos that's on YouTube and enjoy some of the Facebook stuff too. So I was quite surprised to hear from some of them down at the different places I'd run into these guys. But anyway, it's interesting stuff for Bonneville Land Speed Racing. It's this is what we live for here, especially us old guys anyway. But anyhow, Bruno, I hand the mic back to you, and you can elaborate a little bit and chat some more if you care to. Here you are.
Well, Fred, I don't know what to say anymore. I mean, you've covered pretty much all. I mean, once again for your show, Adrenaline Motorsport, also and French Connection. All you do is your adrenalineradio.com, and like you mentioned, Fred, on podcast. Everyone that wants to listen to the show live on Friday on podcast for the whole week. Now, I want to ask you, Brian. I mean, you fly every year all the way from Ohio to come to this big event. What was your reaction as a team member also to find out what happened with the car? What was your first reaction to it?
When I saw Ben hit the throttle and the car left real straight, and then all of a sudden it started going a little bit side to side, wobbling, and then he shifted into the next gear to try to get that wobble out of it, and put the pedal to the metal, so to say, and the car had so much power it was gone. And I fly here. I live in Ohio, so it's kind of hard for me to get back and forth here. But I want to give you a little story that Fred told me. Fred was he worked as you know, he works for Arias Pistons and Arias racing components. And Ben owns a shop in Roseville, California. So what happened was Ben was having an engine built at Arias for a customer. And then Fred started talking, and they didn't know each other, and I didn't know Ben at all. And so Fred ended up taking the engine up there, and lo and behold, this young man, this is since his early age in life, maybe 10, 9, 11, that he dreamed of driving a Bonneville car. And Fred goes, well, here we go. Here, I got a Bonneville car, and we might need a driver. And I kind of thought that was, sometimes life takes you in strange ways. And Ben ended up getting his, driving for Fred, and we got a good driver, and things worked out real well. But he's learning, and he showed us a lot of spunk, and a lot of whatever you call it. He had it because he took care of that car. That car was flying, and he pulled. Things went wrong. It looks like somebody took a shotgun to the side of the car and blew holes in it, blew holes in the oil pan, and parts on the track. And this guy controlled his car like a guy that's been out here for 15 years. And all I got to say is that he did a heck of a job, and we found our driver forever.
And the reason I was asking you that, because you were one of the privileged that were able to, for our folks that are listening to the show, you were in a I don't know why I said Fred, the pulling car, and then you were able to witness what people from behind cannot see.
Well, I got to say that Brian's a little bit too modest here. He talks about me only, but he and I are the partners in this car. It's not just me. So, and we also have some other partnerships and other items in manufacturing. But he's very modest. He doesn't really want to talk about it. But if it wasn't for Brian, I got to tell you, I don't think we'd be here today. He's certainly been a major contributor, and also in everything he's done. I mean, he's probably the best partner a guy could have in this business and what we're doing. So I can't thank you enough, Brian. I would appreciate you being not so modest next time, because you've been very involved with this deal. But Bruno, I'll give it the mic back to you.
Yeah, I gotta mention something too. We're all here helping a little bit. We have all a perspective of the race, which is amazing. We all wait a year. We get to be in El Mirage also. One thing I want to mention, I know, Ben, right before you're in your own bubble, and my little thing that I said to you is speed safely, and then Fred, just mention what you tell him like almost every year, right before he takes off.
Well, we have a few words. I ask how he's feeling, basically, what his thoughts are, where his head's at, just to get an idea. He's focused on what he has to do, and then, of course, the parting words is once we strap him into the car, especially here at Bonneville, his preferences are that his wife is there too, and we strap him into the car, and that's critical that we're there together. And once that's done, of course, the words are be safe and go fast is basically what we tell him. So that's exactly what he does. He doesn't shirk that duty. He's right there on top of it. He feels the car. He's got a good feel for the car and how it's going, and a good feel for the throttle. You can see he feels the car very well. It's almost like he's wearing the car. He senses everything, and he knows when it's right, and he knows when it's semi-right, and he adjusts for it. So I'm very pleased that he's on board and Brian's on board, and I think we got a good team here, and look forward to more events like this down the road, and as long as we can hang in there. Not where everybody else. But anyway, thanks, Bruno.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear from you. You're the last one that's big to Ben. Be safe, go fast. This is great. So I think it's been starting the last 3 years. So now really quickly to end this show. Now you're here, spectator. You're going to enjoy the last few days here in Bonneville. What's the next step? Perhaps obviously the transmission. El Mirage. Maybe Ben, if you want to say something.
The next step, get the car back, get it cleaned up, make sure all the salt's off of it, get the transmission out of it, make sure that there is no weather damage to anything else, and basically go over everything in the car with a fine-tooth comb to make sure that the car is ready for the next run. I feel right now that the car is capable of getting the record at El Mirage, so my personal goal right now is I'd like to be able to drive it at El Mirage, to try for that record. I feel we could get it, but All now revolves around getting the correct transmission, getting it in the car, seeing what kind of modifications there are, shifter-wise, driveline-wise. It'll end up being some major changes.
Well, thank you very much, Ben. And you, Fred, as far as speed, maybe next year for Bonneville, what are you expecting for year 2012?
Well, we were very fortunate, as I said early on, that we got our AA license just by the skin of our teeth. We went 1 mile over what they said we could beat a AA, and they were teasing Ben about getting us. As well, 1 mile only, you think that counts? And Ben says, sure does. So, but that's what it is. But the car has more than adequate horsepower as it sits right now as far as the engine's concerned. And the engine is one of the key items. And again, I can't say enough for Brian. He's very much instrumental in not letting me put my parts in it, and he put his parts in it instead. So we probably would have a little more anomaly than what we had. So, but anyway, thanks a lot, Bruno.
Just for some people that are involved in car racing, but could you explain a little bit the qualification of the license? How does it work a little bit?
Well, it starts off when you come out here to race. You had your standard license from the state you live in gives you the opportunity to run up to 125 miles an hour. And then past that, you can't go over that until you prove to SCTA and BNI that you're capable of handling your car in a safe manner above that. And then it goes in 25 mile an hour increments until you get to 200 miles an hour. And then it goes in 50 mile an hour increments, 200 to 250, 250 to 300. And then once you get over 300, then you have an unlimited license and you never have to get another license again. You can run anything you want and to any speed you want.
Very, very good. That's quite impressive. So I think we're all looking forward for next year. We're going to have to wait 364 more days, I guess, to do that. But prior to that, I'm sure we'll be able to see all you guys, El Mirage also. So I want to thank you, all three of you, Fred, Ben, and Brian also, to be with us. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the week. Bonneville 2011, and we're all looking forward, spectator, fans, helper, crew members, Adrenaline Rush, to be here next year. Sport team, and everyone taking picture. And folks, once again, you'll be able to hear the broadcast on Adrenaline Motorsport, also in the French Connection. And obviously, the girls here are working on YouTube, right? So we're doing that. Eileen and Darlene are working hard to get everything posted there. So I thank you guys very, very much. Thanks, Fred. Thanks, Ben. And thanks, Brian. Thank you very much. And we'll see all you guys next year.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bruno. Bruno, thank you very much for the joint interview with this deal. I look forward to hearing your part of it, because most of it's going to be in French and I won't understand it. But again, thanks again for everything. Appreciate it.
Thank you, folks, and we'll all see you in the year 2000. Brian, you want to mention something else? Go ahead.
I just want to say we're going to be ready and loaded for Bear, and this comes from Blanchard, Bacik, and York.
Right on. Well said. So we'll all see you in Bonneville 2012 next season. Thank you, guys.